This is John Stashower. Every story, every day. This is our game. 24/7 NBC Sports Radio and NBCSportsRadio.com.
NBC Sports Radio, the John Stashower Show. So SMU is 23-6, getting ready to host Tulsa Sunday. Big game for the American Athletic Conference regular season. Their coach is, of course, the Hall of Famer Larry Brown, and we're happy to have him with us on NBC Sports Radio. So, Coach, we're into March. It's an exciting time. I imagine it's a time for coaches where coaches are inherently worriers. What do you like about your team? What do you feel good about your team? What worries you also at this time of the year?
Well, I'm excited about my team because we've overcome a lot of adversity. You know, we lost a pretty special point guard this summer in Emmanuel Mudiay, and you know, you don't have time to recover from that. And then we lost two really good players mid-semester. We lost, you know, Keith Frazier and Justin Martin, and then Marcus Kennedy was ineligible the first 9 games. And with all that, we just, you know, working hard, and other people are stepping up, and we've competed at a high level, played great on the road, which is something we had trouble with the last couple of years. I'm just pleased by the progress our program's made. What worries me is that we're not very deep right now. You know, losing guys, you know, gives us a very short bench, so we all have to play at a very high level.
You come off a loss. You had been playing great. You went up to UConn Sunday, and you know, obviously they were hungry for a win. But how about giving up 81? 49 in the second half? Your defense that's way more than you'd been allowing all years. You look back on that game Sunday. What went wrong on the defensive end? They
were great. You know, I look back on the shots. They made 5 3-pointers late clock with people all over them. You know, they go 9 for 20 from 3. They just made shots, made plays. We didn't defend as well as we needed to defend, obviously, when you give up 49 points, but they had a lot to do with it. They were well prepared. Boatwright, Purvis were phenomenal, and Hamilton, I think, is one of the best freshmen in the country. So we just ran into a team that played great. We got 47, you know. With 1 minute and 12 seconds to go, we had a trap at half court and a steal, which would have put us down 2, and, you know, we got called for a foul, and we were still in the game. But we lost to a team that really executed and played great.
Well, you know, I said before, March is obviously an exciting time, and look, you've obviously been through this before, but none of your players have been to the NCAAs. This SMU hasn't been in over 20 years, so how much are they? How much are your kids? How much is the whole campus looking forward to what's ahead here?
Well, they're a little apprehensive because, you know, I didn't say anything last year about us being slighted because I didn't think it was fair for teams that got in, but we got slighted. You know, we were 4-6 against top 20 teams. We really had a team that was worthy of going there, and when we didn't get in, it was like a big cloud hung over our heads. And so I don't think anybody here is taking anything for granted. And all we're trying to do is play the best we can because, you know, we respect Tulsa a lot. They're really well coached. They're really experienced. So that's the only thing. And it's senior day. Last year on senior day, we played Louisville, and you know, we're playing great against them, and then we had a maturity breakdown. You know, we acted like kids and gave them life, and that was a bummer, and, you know, none of us want to go through with that again. So we're just focusing on, you know, trying to be great against Tulsa.
Well, I think you're in from the people who do this for a living. I think but, you know, I understand last year. I mean, you were 2-0 against the team that ended up winning the whole tournament last year. So you can look back and say you certainly deserved it. But Larry Brown is with us here on NBC Sports Radio as we talk about SMU. How rewarding has this been for you, Coach? I mean, you had coached in college before, but at historic programs, UCLA, Kansas, you go to SMU, you really got to build something, and you've been able to do it. And especially coming off the last couple of NBA jobs that didn't pan out well for you. How rewarding has this whole experience been?
Well, Charlotte panned out. We went to the playoffs for the first time ever.
Yeah, we got fired.
But that's all right. That happens everywhere. But I'm thankful I'm coaching, to be honest with you. Especially what's happened in the last 2 weeks with Coach Smith's passing. I value every day I get to coach, and I want very badly, to tell kids the same things that he taught me. And I love being here. This is a great school. We're in a great conference. We have a really neat facility. We have a lot of things going for us to make this an elite program. That's our goal. So if you say, this is a great thing for me, I'm just thrilled I'm doing what I'm doing at this age. I got a great staff. We got great kids coming in. I really believe that we're going to be a factor in college basketball for a long time.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Smith's been on your mind for the last couple of weeks. What one or two things have you always, more than anything else, imparted from him and have continued to use throughout your long coaching career?
I've said this a number of times. He's the most decent man I've ever been around. We really had to be a team. He stressed everything you did, you tried to make your teammates better. The way you acted, you were concerned about how that would reflect on your teammates. He gave you great confidence when you played, and the biggest thing is you were prepared for everything. Every time you went to practice, it was like going to a classroom. And you were learning how to play and how to play the right way. I kind of coined that phrase a long time ago, but that was Dean Smith's way of playing. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing, and so many people that are lucky enough to be involved in this game would have the same things. They would say the same very thing once they had a relationship with Coach. He's given us a great opportunity to do something that we all love.
I remember you saying that so often about playing the right way in 2004 with that 2004 Pistons team. And a lot of people have been talking about that team, Coach, because we have the Hawks this year. And people are saying, well, how can the Hawks win the NBA championship? They don't have any big stars, Hall of Famers. And people are saying, well, the 2004 Pistons did it. You see some comparisons?
Well, I think he's done an amazing job with that team. They really are a team. They're so deep. They are committed to making each other better. But I had superstars in Detroit. I had Rasheed Wallace. I had Chauncey Billups. I had Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince. I had a lot of guys that I think were like superstars. And I think if you ask the Hawks, when you look at the way Teague's playing, when you look at Hartford, they've got some really, really quality guys that are playing at an unbelievable high level. So, but it's good for basketball. When I see the Spurs play and I see the Hawks play, they're great examples of how kids need to play. Team comes first, and that's a great lesson for everybody.
How have you found kids have changed? I mean, you hadn't coached in college in a while. Did that worry you going back to a college job? And now that you've been there a few years, have kids basically changed in the last 20, 30 years or not?
Parents have changed. Yeah. That's the biggest thing I noticed. Kids want to be coached. They might go about it in a different way, but at the end of the day, they really want to be coached, want to be taught. Of course I worried about it because I've been away a while, and then like you said, I got my last two jobs. People told me I couldn't coach. So you worry about that, whether you're capable of doing a good job. But I've been fortunate enough. I have a great staff, and kids have allowed me to coach and teach them. That's been a wonderful thing for me personally.
I'm watching that game Sunday and coaching against Kevin Ollie, like you've done it for the last couple of years. But you had God knows how many players over the years, but he was, he wasn't a star by any means, but you really forged a relationship with him, right? And so what are your thoughts on when you watched him last year cutting down the nets, What was your reaction?
Well, you take a lot of pride in that, but he's what coaching should be about. He was a great teammate. He was a better player than people realize, but he just is the type of human being that if I had if my son wanted to play, I'd send him with Kevin without a doubt, because I know he's going to care about him and teach him how to act and how to conduct himself and bring out the very best in him. So when he won, I had admiration for that team and what they had to overcome, because the year before they weren't able to go, and that was one of the great stories. I was just thrilled to watch it happen. Well,
you couldn't lose in that championship game because Coach Cal, obviously, you go way back with as well. And were you the one, I think, with the season starting, you said, well, Kentucky's starting five is the best team, and then Kentucky's next five is the second best team in college basketball?
Well, that was before Poitras got hurt. But, yeah, don't doubt that. And I'm not knocking Cal, because, what Cal's been able to do and get those kids to play together and accept their role is remarkable. And we all should embrace that and recognize that. But the reality is they got 4 or 5 first-round lottery picks on that team. They have everything, but to have them play together the way they are is a tribute to John and his ability to get kids to accept a role. I have unbelievable admiration for him in that respect.
Does he not get enough credit you can't deny him, his recruiting ability is unbelievable. Does he not get enough credit for, as they say, X's and O's coaching?
X's and O's don't always get it done. Getting your kids to play together and value the things that you think are important and to play hard. That's what it's all about. And I think he does that as well as anybody.
Coach, appreciate the time. Best of luck the rest of the way. Thanks.
Thanks very much.
Larry Brown, 74 years old, 40 years a head coach, 13 different jobs between the NBA, the ABA, college basketball, and I think he had 2 losing seasons, and he's got SMU right now at 23-6. We'll talk some more hoops coming up in the shoot around. That's next to the John Stashower Show. It's NBC Sports Radio, NBCSportsRadio.com.
NBC Sports Radio. We're online and on demand 24/7. Stay tuned. More on the way next.